Hi guys, welcome back to another video on Next.js 15. This video is about the most important feature that we need to implement in every web application. So this is about AI Chatbot. So whether you have a SaaS application, e-commerce, MVP, ERP, or any kind of web applications, everybody wants to integrate a chatbot in their project, in their web app. So currently you can see that this is a landing page. This is not a complete application, but I have given the context of this whole application, what features it includes, and how it would work when it will be completed later on. Okay, and if I scroll down, you will see that there is a small icon appears from the bottom, and if I click on it, it will show this particular pop-up, and obviously we can customize it. I have used the Tailwind CSS, Shadesy, and components with Next.js 15 to implement this, and I will show you how we can integrate chatbot both with Gemini as well as the OpenAI API. So currently I've given the context of my application, what it does, why people needs to use it, and what are the pricing of it, what are all the features. So let's talk with this chatbot. So first of all, let me say it hi, and it's showing loading, and I can click on abort, and it will stop fetching and talking to the AI. Okay, so currently you can see that it is going to show me this is all generated with the help of an AI. This is not a predefined message or the constants which I've added in my project. This is all about AI. So first of all, what are the features of Node Verde in details? Okay, so now if I hit enter, it knows what is the context of my application. Now it's going to explain me all the features of this particular application, and these are the information which I provided to him, and it is rethinking itself with the help of AI and given me an optimized and concise response. Now if I ask it something else, for example, how I should celebrate my birthday, this is not relevant to this particular application. Let's see what it says. So it should not answer me. So you can see that I'm sorry, I can only answer related to the noteworthy. So it means that this chatbot is only going to talk with you about this particular application. So whether you have e-commerce, you have mobile app, you have SaaS application, MVP, ERP, any content management system that you have, you can give the context of your application. So your chatbot will only stick to those topics which you have asked it to discuss with your users, the users of your web application. And these are not the predefined answers. If I just refresh the page, it will restart a new chat. Now if I just say it hi, it will generate a new response with the help of an AI. This is not a response which I got previously in the previous chat. So now what are the prices of this app? So this is the SaaS application, the landing pages of SaaS application, and these are the different prices: free version, pro, and the ultimate. So now you can see that it knows the details of my application. Now it is giving me the response. So why should I use this app? So let's see what happens. So it should give me the reasons, that what are the benefits of it, what are the use cases of it. So all these different things are happening with the help of Gemini and OpenAI. So whether you can use Gemini or you can use the OpenAI APIs to generate these responses, I'm going to show you the both ways to do that. Okay, so most people don't have the OpenAI keys because it's paid. Gemini is free for a particular number of messages. So this is the reason I'm going to show you both of these ways. But I'm not going to waste too much time building up the UI for this landing page. Instead, I'm going to give you a starter code that will include all the folder structure, all this landing page, the UI that you can see over here. So currently you can see that this is the starter code. I'm going to give the link of it in the description of this video. So this is the starter code. It will include all the predefined folder structure, all the packages that you would need. You just need to clone this project and just need to run npm install, and it's going to install all the AI packages, all the Shadesy and UI components which will be required, AI package, date. So these are all the OpenAI React 19. So I'm using Next.js 15. So Next.js 15 built on top of the React 19 version. All the folders and the files, currently it contains nothing. I will be coming to these files and writing code for you. The predefined folder and files for the APIs that I will be creating. Layout is already set up with the header, with the landing section, which you can see over here. All right. And currently the app.tsx file only contains the landing section. It does not contain the code for popping up that chat box. I have another project which is running in my system behind the scenes, and this is the reason it is showing over here. This is not because of this project which I'm showing you right now. So I will start from the same folder structure which I have here. So I'll start from this particular file, page.tsx file, to help you integrate chatbot in any of your web applications. So let's get started. So before building up the chatbot, if I go to my channel, you can just go to my channel. You can see that I've created almost 200 videos, and most of these videos are related to React and Next.js. So let's go inside the Next.js tutorials and Next 14 tutorials. There is not much difference between both the versions. The folder structure, the file structure is pretty much same. So if I go over here, you will see that I've created a lot of videos, and I have covered up pretty much every topic for you to become a good Next.js developer, starting off with the basics as well as covering up the project based videos in my channel, pretty much covering every topic. And if I go to the Next.js 14 tutorial, it contains a lot of videos starting from authentication, performance improvements, deployments, CI/CD, DevOps, things all inside using Next.js 14, building the back end, front end, full stack applications, improving the SEO, and all these different topics. So you can see I'm putting a lot of effort building these videos for you guys. So do subscribe my channel. It will really encourage me to make more videos for you guys. And if you need any development services from me, you can contact me on LinkedIn. I've given the link of my LinkedIn profile in the description of this video, as well as on my channel. You can simply click on this link and you will reach to my LinkedIn account. So right now I've cloned the project, and first of all, what you need to do after cloning is to just hit npm install command and hit enter. I've already done that, so that's why I'm not doing it again. So after doing it, let's run npm run dev command, and this is the command which is already added by Next.js over here, dev. So now I'm running this project. It contains nothing except the landing page header and the landing section. If I refresh this page, and if I scroll down, you will see no icon is going to be appear from the bottom right corner. So this is something which I'm going to show you implement how to pop up that chat box from the bottom by clicking on that icon. And also after that, I'm going to show you how to integrate the chatbot, the actual functionality of chatting with the bot, and integrate it in any of such application that you have. Okay, so currently let's close it down. I'm gonna close all these files. What we have, okay, save. Right now, let's open up the page.tsx files. So here below this landing section, I'm going to start off adding that particular icon. It's not visible by default, as you know. I'm going to scroll down maybe 200 pixels down, and then it's going to show us that particular icon. But first of all, let's try to import the libraries or the packages that we would need to be used in this particular file. There are a lot, so let's follow me step by step. First of all, I would need use state, then I would need use effect, then I would need use ref. Okay, it's showing the error because I'm not using it right now. So after that, I would be needing to use React Markdown. Let's see what we have. So Markdown, this is from React Markdown. This is to actually format the response from the AI, and this is important that we will be needing. Then we have to have this remark gfm. This is going to be from remark gfm. Okay, when you run npm install, these packages will be automatically added from the package.json file. These are already added there. You don't need to manually install from the terminal before importing these. Okay, after that, let's import a few components, the UI components from the shared cn, which are already added over here inside the components and the UI. These are already added in the repo which I have shared with you. Okay, so maybe you can pause the video and just import these things: buttons, cards, input, and then the scroll area. Okay, and after that, we will need to import a few icons from the Lucid React, which is already installed when you run npm install. And I would need cross icon, message, send loader, arrow down, circle icon. Okay, After that, for animation, for example, I scroll down and it's going to show me the animated icon popping in from the bottom, and when I click on that icon, it's going to animate that model for the chat. This is all happening. We can do it only with the Tailwind CSS or the CSS, but I'm going to be using the Framer motion. Okay, so after this Lucid React, I would need a motion, and then animate presence from the Framer motion. Okay, after that, this is very important. This is from the AI SDKs that we have used. The use chat. This is a function from the Vercel AI SDK, which I'm going to be using, and it handles a lot of things by itself. It is being used by many developers, so this makes things easier. We can go with the custom implementation of AI APIs, but we can. It's better to use when we have something like an SDK. So AI SDK, we have, then we would need React. Okay, so let's save it. Let's write import, and then the landing section is already added. We don't need that. All right, so these are all the packages that we would need to be imported in this particular file. Now let's create few the state variables first of all. So first of all, we would need is chat open. Set is chat open. This is going to detect whether the chat, whether we have clicked the icon for the chat or not. After that, we need to see whether the icon is visible or not. This is something which is important. By scrolling down, we will be actually showing that icon. So set chat icon, set show chat icon. This is going to be false. Then let's add chat icon ref. This is the null, and this is going to be of type HTML button element. All right. After that, what we need to do is we need to make it visible. So in order to do that, we need to use the use effect. And inside the use effect, let's close it down. First of all, let's add the dependency array, and now I'm going to write the handle scroll if window dot scroll y is greater than 200. Then I'm going to set the variable set show chat icon to true. Okay, and if it is not, then show set icon to false, and set is chat open equals to false as well. Okay, and after this particular function, I'm going to call this function handle scroll, and also I'm going to attach it. So why is it throwing some kind of error? Can't find name show set show chat icon. Set show chat icon. Let me save it. So okay, I by mistake I added this parentheses over here. It is again adding this parentheses. Maybe let's fix the const variable name and now remove these parentheses. Okay, now it's able to find that out. And after scroll, we need to attach it with the event. So Windows add event listener scroll and handle scroll, and then I'm going to return it. This is going to be on unmount of this particular component. All right. After this use effect, I'm going to create toggle, because when we click on that icon, we need to make it visible. So const toggle chat and set chat open is equals to this. Okay, so currently it's not being called by any of the button or link. That's why it is showing this error. Now, first of all, we need to show that particular icon which needs to be visible. So here inside this particular return statement, I need to wrap everything with animate presence. This is going to make enable the animations inside it. Okay, so I'm using an extension Super Maven. This is an awesome extension, and by reading the context of my code, it is going to suggest me some kind of code snippets. Okay, but I'm going to write most of the code myself because sometimes when it gives you or show you a lot of code, there is a possibility there are some errors inside it. Okay, so parentheses and then the close it. Now is chat open? Actually not is chat open. I need to write show chat icon. Okay, if show chat icon, then I should be able to click on it. All right, so now inside it I'm going to write the motion div, and it is showing me few things. So let's hit tab and select it. Initial opacity 0 and y equals to 100, because I'm going to make it invisible at the start. Okay, and then opacity 1. After it is going to be reaching the opacity 1, I'm going to make y 0, exit 0y100, and then I'm going to add the transition actually. So transition duration 0.02. I'm not going to be adding the toggle chat over here. uh, let's close it, motion div. And for this particular class I'm only going to be adding very few properties. There are a lot of things it has added. So fixed bottom 4, right 4, z index 50. Okay, I don't think I need to explain the CSS. This is not the purpose of this video. This is only going to make it visible on top of every other element. Okay, now inside this I'm going to show the button. Okay, and inside this particular button I'm going to write if is chat open question mark. Then it is going to show the message circle uh, of class name size equals to 12. Okay, and if it is not opened, then I'm going to show the arrow down circle icon. We don't need to add these sizes. All right, and inside this button, let me see, let's go over here, let's refresh this page. There is no error. If I scroll down, you can see that this is showing from the bottom. This is looking great, and we actually need to add some classes to this particular button. So let's do that. This is the button. First of all, let's give it the reference. So chat icon ref on click toggle. Okay, and then I'm going to write the size icon, and then let's add the class name. This is going to be the rounded full, size 14, padding 2, shadow large. Okay, so let's see how it's looking like now. All right, it's looking great. If I just scroll up, it's showing it up from the bottom. Okay, if I refresh this page, if circle is already down, then it's automatically going to detect that the scroll is down, and it's going to be visible from the bottom automatically with the cool animations. And if I click on it, you will see that it's not showing any model right now because it's not added, but it's showing the icon. It is showing when it is opened, then it's going to show the arrow. When it's not opened, then it's going to show the chat icon. All right, so let's go over here. Now let's build up. When I click on this particular icon, it should show that particular model over here. So below this animate, so let's add another animate presence, and inside it I'm going to detect. Above I detected it with the show icon. Now I need to detect whether chat model is visible. So I already created its variable above. Okay, so right now we have added this particular check. Let's hit tab and let's see what it is showing. So if is chat is opened, so this is making the chat open because of this show chat icon, and this is going to make it visible. So let's see whether it works or not. I hope that it's going to work, and this is making it true and false. Okay, uh, right now let's see, we have the initial opacity 0 y. Actually we don't need y, we need to scale it because the window that is going to be visible is it's small, it's not visible. Initial it's going to be of size nothing, but it's going to increase its size. Okay, so initial opacity 0, and then the scale is going to be 0.8, and then we have the opacity 1, scale is going to be 1. Then we have the opacity 0, on exit, then the scale is going to be the 0.8. Okay, then the transition is 0.2, the animation is fine. Bottom is going to be 20, right 4, which is fine. Z index 50, which is fine. Width, let's give it 95% width. Okay, on the smaller screen sizes I'm going to make it responsive, but on the medium or the large greater than medium sizes, then the width is going to be 500 pixels. Okay, so this is how it should look like inside that model. Let's see if anything is visible over there or not. So let's go. All right, so as I scroll down, if I hit, you can see that it's showing something over here. This is coming in from that particular chat component. Let's see what we have in the chat here. So this is showing itself. So I don't want that. So let's close it. So let's add some text over here. So let's see what it shows. So right now you can see that it's showing over here. I need to add some background and all these things. If I close, you can see that it's getting visible. So it's a good start. Now inside this particular motion div, I need to start off with the card, and the card will have border 2. Okay, now let's add the card header. Let's hit tab. Supermaven is suggesting me the code. Okay, so hit tab and then the tab. So it's suggesting me to show the title. Now we started off with the card, so let's close it with the card header. Okay, now let's save it. Let's see what we have here. We have the flex. I want to add the flex row and items center justify between. Let's add the space y0 padding bottom -3. Okay, and then we have this particular, rather than font medium, let's give it the font bold. Chat with the noteworthy. This is the name of our application. You can name anything because it's not complete application. This is just a landing page, a sample landing page. Then we have this button for toggling that. So this button is going to show the cross icon. Okay, so let's see what we have here. All right, so now you can see that I can cross it, close it from here as well. Okay, it's looking cool, it's looking great. Now we have this button. Let's give it a variant to this button, and the variant I'm going to give is the ghost. Size is going to be the small. Toggle chat, and to give it a class name I'm going to set it padding on x-axis and padding on y-axis equals to 0. So rather than directly putting this x, size is going to be the 4. Okay, and we can actually add that close chat for this particular variant. Now we have this particular header. We have yet to add the content. Let's see what we have here. So let's click on that. Now it's looking good. We have this header, this title, and this cross button. Okay, now below this particular header, let's add the card content, and let's close it with the card content. All right, and inside this card content we need to add all the things, the loaders, the chat that we are going to be talking with the AI, with the Gemini or OpenAI, but we don't need any class name right now for this content. Okay, and inside this content, first of all, we need scroll area, because as we keep on chatting with the chatbot, we want scroll to be visible. Okay, so scroll area, let's give the height to it. First of all, this is going to be fixed, so 300 pixels is the height, and then padding right equals to the 4. So now inside this particular scroll area, first of all, what we want is we want to check, we want to show some kind of div. Okay, and this is going to show no messages yet initially. So inside this particular div, so let's add width full, margin top 32, text gray, 500 items center, uh, justify center, and we can add flex and gap equals to 3. Okay, and we are going to show this particular div if there are no messages. We don't have any variable to detect whether there is any messages or not, so let's leave it like this. So let's see what we have here. Let's go. Now it's looking great. We have this message, it's bigger in the height, and now at the bottom we need to show the card footer, and inside the card footer we need to show the form for the input and then the button to send it to our AI bot. So before building up the UI for the form at the bottom, let's first import few things. So we have this use chat hook, and it gives us a lot of different functions and variables. So now inside this particular component, I'm going to be using the use chat. Okay, and inside this we can actually define the API that should be automatically triggered, and this use chat is going to use that particular API, whether it's OpenAI, Gemini, or we can use the variable that is going to be detect whether we are using the Gemini or API. So now inside it, I'm going to write the API. Since I will be using the custom API, by default if we don't provide an API, I think it automatically navigates to API/chat. But currently in the folder structure, we have API/Gemini and /OpenAI. I'm going to show you by writing a separate code for both of these things. But let's first try the Gemini API, which I have yet to return. API/Gemini. Now it gives us a lot of different functions. First of all, the messages. Okay, all the messages that is returned from the chatbot, and all the including the messages which we send to the chatbot. Okay, and then we have the input. This is going to be binding with that particular text box for sending the message to the chatbot, and then handle input change, handle submit. We can show the loading while the response is being generated from the AI. We can stop the response by triggering the stop function. We can reload if there comes an error by unknown reasons. We can show the reload button that there is some kind of error. Maybe you can reload it, the server is down or something like that. We can show some kind of error message as well. What is the exact message that needs to be shown? Okay, so let's save it. Now all these functions are imported with this use chat and API/Gemini. Make sure API and Gemini text is matching with the folder name over here. Okay, now let's come down and below this particular card content, I think, and we will be adding the card footer. Okay, so inside the card footer, I'm going to be adding the form on submit, handle submit. This is going to be bind with the use chat hook function. And also for the form, I'm going to be adding the class name. This is going to be the flex width full items center, and then the space x2. All right, so this is the form. We don't need to add a class name to the footer. So inside this particular form, I'm going to be using the input from the chatCN component, and this is going to be taking the value input, and this is from again the function from the use chat hook. On change, handle input change, we can have the size. We don't need size here. We can have the class name flex1, and let's add the placeholder as well. Okay, type your message here. Okay, now this is the input that is added. Now we can add the button, and for this button we need to write the submit, and the class name we don't need flex none. We can write size 9. Okay, and after this we can actually disable it while the response is being loading from that particular AI chatbot, whether from the OpenAI or Gemini. We can disable it. So how we can disable it? If it is loading, this is again coming in from use chat. So this is how cool this use chat hook is. Otherwise we had to manually check whether the response is being loading or not. Let's add the size icon. Okay, so this is the button now, and here we can show the send uh, icon. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Um Let's open it up. All right, so it's looking good. We have this text box, we have this button. Currently, it will not do anything. The reason is that currently when I click on this button, it's going to submit this form, and submit is going to be handle submit. So what handle submit does over here, handle submit is going to trigger this API. This API is doing nothing. So if I click on it, uh, and currently you can see in the terminal, uh, it is going to show this error that no HTTP method exported from this particular route. So this is the error it has triggered. So this is what we expected. All right, now let's come over here. Let me just close this card footer. We have this card header, and then we have this particular scroll area. Scroll area is the main area where we can actually populate all the messages. Okay, but first of all, let me first add a check that this particular message, no messages yet, should be visible if the message's length is equals to 0. Okay, like this. Let me just cut this div and put it inside. All right, if messages length is 0, later on it will not be there will be some messages in this area and it will be hidden. Okay, then inside the scroll we want to show the loading as well. Okay, here we want to show the messages dot map index like this. I don't need that. So this div, let's close it like it, this and this. All right, currently it contains just messages for now. This is where I'm going to show all the messages. Currently messages contains nothing, so that's why it's showing over here. Let's also add the loading. So we can use the is loading, which is coming in from that use hook. So let's add is loading like this, parentheses, and inside it I'm simply going to put few code. I don't want to waste time, which is obvious. So this is the div which is going to be shown, and this is showing the loader. Obviously animate spin is going to make it spin infinite number of times, and there is a button. A button is going to call the stop function. This is going to stop the response from the chatbot, and this is simply the text. You can put any icon over here if you want. Okay, so after that we want to show the error as well. Okay, so for the error we can again use the same error function, error boolean variable actually. This is the error. If there is an error coming in from the AI chatbot, then we can simply show the error message over here. Maybe we can simply show the retry, and this reload function is going to resend our message to the chatbot that there was some error, so can you please reload the response. Maybe next time it gives you a better response. Okay, but in case there is some kind of error, so let's see. I'm not sure whether the API exists or not. Still it shows some kind of error or not, but let's see. All right, so error occur. Let's see now. If I click on that and there is no API exists. Okay, let's write some message. Let's click on that. All right, so there is no API, no messages yet, an error occurred. Retry. It's going to show the same message. All right, so this is how the error is working from here. Now it's time to build the API, and API should be available. So currently we need to use this. These two are for formatting the response. We don't need this set. I don't know why it got imported. Maybe when we save our file, it gets imported when it doesn't find anything. Okay, so now the API should be over here, API/Gemini. But first of all, I want to actually show you to actually add, I don't want to show you my keys. So you need to create .env.local file in your folder, and inside it you need to create these two variables, OpenAI _API _key and after that you can put your API key, and then the Google API key should be added over here. Make sure you give the same name to these variables. Okay, so now let's close it. So let's open up route.ts file within Gemini, and inside it we can simply export that post function. So use chat hook require a post API to trigger. Okay, so async post request, and inside it is taking the request dot json, and let's bring it inside the messages. So all the messages are going to be passed to this API. Currently it should be within this. All right, so currently it's not showing anything, and inside it I will be returning the response to the front end in the form of streams. Like I don't want the response from API to return all at once. It should be in the form of streams, like one by one, line by line, or the character by character, to make it show that the response is loading from the chatbot. Okay, so above this particular API, which is the post, let's build a function. So const build Google Gen AI prompt equals to, and then this is going to be the messages. Then this is going to take the message, and then the return type is going to be the message as well. I'm gonna import this message just now, so let's do it like this. All right, and inside this particular this is actually going to be an array. This is not going to be this object, so I'm going to write it like this, array. Okay, so above this particular array I'm going to import few packages from stream text and then the message, and this is going to be coming in from the AI only. We have already added it in our package.json file. Okay, and now you can see there is no error for this message. Now let's import the create Google, let's import that like it, generative AI. Okay, so create Google generative AI. This is what we are going to be calling for creating an instance of Google. So create Google AI, and this is going to take the API key, process.env Google API key. If it doesn't found, maybe we can just return an empty string. Okay, and after that let's export runtime for the edge. We have to do this for the edge, so this is actually, otherwise it might not work on the Edge browser. Okay, now we might need to add the ID while creating the message from that chatbot. So let's generate ID, and this is going to be a function. So let's add math.random .toString, and then the slice, let's give it 15 over here. All right, so generate ID, this is the function we can call. Okay, so now inside this particular array we can combine two objects. One object is going to be the initial context which we want to give to the chatbot, that this is the context of our application, all the features, what are the prices, what our app does, and as much information as we give to this particular chatbot, that precise response and the correct response we can expect from this chatbot. So the context of our application, whether it's e-commerce, ERP, SaaS application, or any kind of application, it's up to us that how we write the prompt or the information that we give to that particular AI bot. This is important. and we have to be concise. We have to learn what is prompt engineering. If you don't know how to write prompts properly, then I've created a video separately, what is prompt engineering, how to write prompts. You can just click on my video of that on the top right corner of this video. You might just seen that on the top right corner of this video. So if you want to learn more about prompt engineering, so I'm going to give the context of this application just now. I'm going to show you. So inside this data.ts, I'm simply going to export one message. Okay, so this is the context. It's up to us. We can write thousands of lines of text to give the context of our application to that chatbot. So what it does, the role should be system. This is important because this is the context. And this is the predefined value. We cannot change the value system for this role. And the content is going to be, you are an AI assistant for noteworthy. I'm telling that bot that your application name is noteworthy, which is a SaaS application. So here are the key features. So I'm given all the key features of this application. I've given to it, and these are the key features: include effortless note taking, intuitive, and it's going to modify my context according to the response, according to what user is asking to this chatbot. And finally, these two lines are very important. Answer user queries about noteworthy feature, pricing, and capabilities only. Okay, if and do not answer questions unrelated to noteworthy. If a question is outside this scope, response with "I am sorry." And this is what I showed you at the start of this video. If the response is out of the context, then the AI chatbot automatically knows according to our instructions in this particular content. Please format your response using the markdown, using bold, italic, code, lists, these kinds of response I want. So this is very important. We need to customize it as per our need. Okay. So now I'm going to be using this initial message by importing it over here. Okay. So inside this particular, I'm going to first of all add a generate ID for the function. Role is going to be a user for this. And the content is going to be initial message from the libdata.content. All right. And after that, what we can do is we can map through all the messages. Dot map, message, arrow function, parentheses, and then these curly braces. Then the ID is going to be the generate ID or the message.id. Like this. And the role should be message.role. Content should be the message.content. Okay, so let's save it. Now you can see that we have to use this particular array in our post request, because this is where we need to return the response in the form of streams to our front end. Okay, so now inside it, const stream equals to await stream text, and then I'm going to give the model. Okay, model can be anything. There are a lot of models for OpenAI and the Gemini. There are a lot of other LLMs as well. So rather than actually just directly giving it a string, let's use the Google. And then there are all these different models. So let's go with the Gemini Pro. Okay. And then I'm going to add the messages, build Google AI prompt, and then I'm going to pass these messages to that, which is being returned from the front end again. Okay, and then I'm going to give the temperature. Temperature just make the response a bit precise. The more the value of temperature, the better response, but the 0.7 is going to be great. So return stream.to data stream response. Okay, this is where we are returning the response in the form of streams step by step. So there is no error in this particular file, and I hope that it is going to work. Okay, but currently on the page.tsx file, we are not actually fetching these messages and showing the content. And this is where I'm going to be using a lot of code and to use React Markdown, Remark GFM to format the data according to our needs. And I'm going to be giving you an extra code as well, because you might not be building node-worthy application. You might be building the coding platforms as well. So this modification or the code which I'm going to write over here is going to tackle all the code snippets as well and show the formatted code in the response inside the chatbot. So let's start getting the response in the form of messages. Okay, so let's just close rest of the code blocks so that we can only focus over here. All right, so messages are going to be loaded from that particular API from here in the form of streams. Now we need to show it over here. So we have added this div inside it. So inside the class name, I'm going to modify it because the messages are going to be including all the messages, our messages, as well as the messages coming from the chatbot. Okay, so we need to format it. So I'm going to align my messages to the right side and the chatbot messages to the left side. Okay, so I'm going to write it like this and margin bottom 4 for each message. And let's write $sign and this. Now let's write message dot role. If it is equals to user, then I'm going to make it right, and then otherwise it is going to be on the left side. Okay, this role equals to user message is going to be containing the role, which is automatically getting handled by the use chat hook which we are using. Okay, so now inside this particular div, I can have another div. So inside this div, I can load the React Markdown. Okay, for now, let's leave it like it. But let's first come on this particular div. So this div is going to be again of the same format, because based upon the conditions, we need to format the message. So, and then inline block, rounded large. So let's add rounded large. Okay. Now inside this message role, if it is equals to the user, then I'm going to make it BG primary, and let's make it text primary foreground. So text primary foreground. Otherwise, our message can be the secondary, or let's make it muted. Okay, so now inside this particular div, we have this markdown. So let's come inside the markdown, and I'm going to add the children message content, and then the remark plugin. We have already imported this remark GFM. This is something which we can add. And after that, we can add the components. Okay, components are the different types of responses from the AI, whether it's the list, whether it's a code snippet, or what kind of response. We can add different kinds of components over here. So first one, let's assume that it can have the code. So let's select it. Okay, so there it is showing some kind of errors, the formatting error. That is fine. Okay, so this is the components. We can let's close it like it. All right, so that is fine. We have the code, and inside the code we have the node inline class name, children, props. So let's add it like this, and now I'm going to write return inline. So inline is going to take up the code with the class name. So let's give the class names to it. BG gray 200, pixel px1, and then the rounded. Okay, and it's going to take up like this, and this is going to take up the props as well. All right, and this is the question mark. So now I can add another parentheses as well. Okay, so inside it, we have added this code over here with these things, and we can use pre over here. So pre is going to take another code block. So let's use the children for that. Okay, and for pre, we are again gonna be using the same stuff. So let's copy it, let's paste it, and also let's write the props over here. Okay. Um, so we have this pre class name, bg gray padding. We can add the padding 2 for this particular thing. Okay. Let's ignore this error. This is a TypeScript error. We can come back to this later and fix this. Okay. And it is showing some kind of error. Do not pass children at props, instead nest children between opening and closing. So it is the ESLint error. So we can come back to this later on. And now after this, let's write the UL and then the children, and let's do it like this, and then the LI, and we can have the OL like this. Okay, so rather than adding these classes, we can actually use the list disk margin left 4. Okay, and for this we can use decimals, so decimal margin left 4. All right, so I think it's time to test this out. Okay, let's see what we have got. So currently there is no error over here. Let's scroll down, it's visible. All right, let's give it high, hit enter. So there is some kind of error on our messages. We can come back to this. All right, so hello there, I'm here to assist you with any questions you may have about Noteworthy or note-taking SaaS applications. All right, so can you tell me more about it? Let's see if it gives us the response. So we need to increase the padding on our messages. So our response messages have a better formatting because of the markdown that we are using. We need to increase the padding for both of these messages. Okay, this is some kind of thing. And one thing that I have noticed currently, can you tell me about the prices? You will realize that I will hit enter, but I cannot see the response. I have to manually scroll down to see the response. Okay, what I want is, as the response is being generated, this scroll should be automatically scrolled down based upon the length of response that we have got. So there are three things: increase the padding for this message and then this message, and then this scroll should be automatically go down. Okay, so now let's see what we have here. First of all, let's fix that scroll message. Okay, so we have this scroll area, and to this scroll area we can add a reference. In order to add the reference, first of all, let's go up. We can first create a variable scroll ref equals to use ref HTML div element and then the null. Okay, and now we have this toggle chat. Let's come below this, and we can have another use effect. Okay, and this is going to be of type messages. Okay, so what it's doing is, it's actually whenever the messages are going to be updated or changed, this is going to check if the scroll current exists. Then it is going to not the current, but I'm going to write the scroll into view. Okay, and then the behavior is going to be scroll smooth actually. All right, and I hope that it is going to work properly, but I need to actually see where I can put that in. So before this scroll area, I can have another div and ref, and then I can have the scroll ref like this. Okay, so let's go over here, let's refresh. Can you tell me in details about what this app is all about? So let's see what happens. All right, so we are scrolling down automatically. It's looking great. Okay, there seems some kind of error. Let's see. Hydration error cannot be the descendant of li. Okay, we can come back to this because the response which is being returned from that AI includes these kinds of messages. We can obviously come down to it and optimize it. Uh, but our scroll is working. Let's note down this error. We can come back to this. Now it's time to check the response for it. This is going to be the ML, and where was that? Okay, so this was actually text write for this, and here we actually used, so we can write the padding 2 over here. Let's for this particular div so that we can have a padding on both sides. All right, so now there is a padding on both sides. We can increase it a bit more. Okay, it's looking better now. All right, so now let's see hi, and now let's see what it does. Hi, okay, I'm here to assist you with any question you may have. Noteworthy, if you have any questions. How, uh, which burger is best in New York? Let's see what happens. It should not give me the response. I'm sorry, I can only answer questions related to noteworthy and features and then these kinds of things. Okay, which is fine. So our AI chatbot is currently working. Okay, our scroll is working, which is fine. Now let's go to this particular OpenAI. Now we need to, I need to actually show you, you might be having the key for OpenAI and you want to use the OpenAI for actually production application. I will be changing the API URL from API Gemini for testing purpose to OpenAI in order to test that out. But first of all, let's open up the route.ts and then let me show you the code which I need to write. I'm not going to write the code line by line because it's going to waste our time. I'm going to add the code directly inside it, and then I'm going to give you the instruction to it. So this is the simple code. Again, I'm importing the stream text. Now, in this particular route, I imported it from the AI SDK Google. Here, I'm importing it from AI SDK OpenAI. Okay. I'm importing the data from initial message, and this is how I'm creating the OpenAI object by giving it an API key, which I added in my env.local file, and then compatibility equals to strict. Okay. Now this is a simple post request. Okay. Now I'm getting the messages. I'm streaming the text coming in from the client side, stream, OpenAI, initial messages, combining it, temperature 1, and then returning it the data in the form of streams. Okay, so let me test this out now. So let's go on the page and let's come back here, OpenAI. Let's save it. Let's test this out. Let's refresh. Okay, so let's now test this out. So now I'm going to say hi to it, and this should return me, hi, I'm happy to answer about this. So now you can see that it has just given me the different response every time, and this is coming in from OpenAI, and it's so cool. So just like the Gemini, this is also returning me a response. I think this OpenAI is more like a descriptive, but we can always tell it, tell me in 2 lines that about the prices of this app. Let's see if it gets a bit more precise. Okay, maybe 2-3 lines. It is a bit smaller message. So 10 notes for free, pro, unlimited. Okay, so this is good, and we have added our chatbot in our application by giving the context of our application within the initial message object. Okay, there are a few more things which I want to tell you about. So the docs which I have been referring for writing these APIs for Gemini and OpenAI. First of all, let's go to the Vercel AI SDK. This is AI SDK by Vercel. This is what we use chat hook. Okay, and you can see that it provides a lot of documentation for multiple platforms. And using this Vercel AI SDK, we can integrate the OpenAI, Azure, Amazon, Google Generative AI. So I used this OpenAI and Google Generative AI in this particular tutorial. You can just go to the other LLM models to use their functionality for generating and chats messages. So if I go to the OpenAI, you can see that this is what I installed, and this is all the things that it is recommending us to use. And then these are all the models. So I refer to these documentation for writing those APIs, and it provides the providers like this OpenAI provider. And this is the Google generative AI provider. This is what I have referred for writing Gemini API. And you can always come back to this particular documentation for writing it. And obviously, this is just a starter code. And I've given you the roadmap of how you can start adding the chatbot in your applications. You can keep on adding more features. You can keep on just optimizing the UI for the responses from the chatbot, and adding some more features as well. Okay, so let me know if you have learned something new. If you have integrated chatbot in your application, let me know in the comments below. And if you have any question or any confusion, you can always come to the comments and ask me within the comments. And see you in the next video. Till then, I would request you guys to again subscribe my channel and like my video as well. It really encourages me to make more videos for you guys. I'll be making more videos in Next.js 15, building up multiple projects like the chat applications, and using the OpenAI or Gemini for building the full stack applications as well in Next.js. Till then, thank you so much for watching, guys. See you in the next video.